Back in May, I had the opportunity to visit the World Trade Center 9/11 Memorial. Previously, I had been to the two other memorials, the Flight 93 Memorial out in Pennsylvania and the Pentagon. The Pentagon is an interesting situation because it's an operational space. People are going in and out of it. And I had been in that location before 9/11 happened and the Pentagon was attacked, and after. To get up to the Pennsylvania Memorial, it's a bit of a trek, and not a lot of people make it out there. It's unfortunate because you kind of should. If we don't learn from history, we're bound to repeat it again. Now, the World Trade Center is a whole different experience from the other two. I had been to the World Trade Center before, flown down the river many times, up close and personal to the World Trade Center. I had a great picture of the World Trade Center that I wanted to use in this video, but I can't seem to find it. And it was right around sunset on the river, across from the other side of the island. And it was beautiful. It was a sunset reflection. That is what I remember about the World Trade Center before I went and visited this time. I didn't know what to expect, and in the video you're going to kind of see the raw thoughts and ideas. I was kind of critical of some of the people. They just seemed to want to go up there, get their selfie, walk away. Some were smiling. I've talked to some of my friends who have lost people at the World Trade Center, and they've seen people standing on the memorial. They've seen people sitting on it, being ridiculous, wiping their shoes off on it. Now, I'm not saying everybody does that, but should anybody do that? 1,106 people have yet to be identified from that location. That is hallowed ground. 40% of the people who died at the World Trade Center have yet to be identified, and their remains are there. What would you think if you were one of the people who had lost a loved one or a friend, and you saw people kind of being ridiculous at the memorial? I'm not trying to judge anybody, but I'm just concerned that people can't take something like that seriously. When I posted my short video on the experience, some people commented that I was overreacting. Their justification for why people act the way they do is that they weren't alive, so it's less of an experience for them. Okay, I've been to the Arizona Memorial out in Hawaii, and I've walked over that battleship, and it's just as solemn of an experience as it was for me to go to World Trade Center. Since there were two towers, there's two reflection pools. I'm not really sure what else to call them. And they're very architecturally and monument-wise, they're a wonderful thing. I think they're very respectful. The one that's closest to the One World Trade Center, I think that's more of a common route that people take through the city. Maybe that desensitizes them to what that reflection pool actually represents. If you go down a little further, maybe 100 yards, you'll get to the second one, and people seem to be a little more serene and respectful there. So if you're going to visit, go to both, because the first one is a much different experience from the second one. If you happen to go to the World Trade Center and you know somebody who's going, just ask them to be a little more undertoned, respectful, whatever it is. Because if we can't respect a site like that, I think we're in a lot of trouble. These aren't going to be unique thoughts. I'm sure they've all been said, but for me, this is
kind of a life-changing experience. I've been to all three of the memorials, and they're all very special and unique and moving in their own way. But this one here, the holes in the water and the names, it's just, in the loud crowds that just don't care about the solemnness of this place. They just want to take their darn pictures and smile with their family. I just don't know how to feel about this. Every one of these names have meaning. Their lives that were vaporized, or taken out beyond their control, cut short. This is a solemn place. You know, it's amazing how a handful of people can do so much destruction and change so many lives, both directly and indirectly. And yet, for some, here's where the second tower was. Strangely enough, it's much less crowded. Not sure why. It's just as important. Amazingly dark and solemn. And it's only 100 yards away, 100 meters away. Yeah, this is what I think it should feel like when you visit. Kind of a calm, quiet passing by, a reverence, again, for all the names of the people that were lost here. Totally out of their control.